Welcome to our podcast, Everything Product. In this podcast, we talk about insights on latest technologies with a product mindset. I'm Srinath. I work as a product ops manager at Twilio.
Hi everyone, this is Phani. I'm a product manager at Intuit.
Hi everyone, this is Sid Saladi. I'm a product manager working for Best Buy.
Today, we're going to discuss an hot topic which is on everyone's mind. That is how to land a PM job. So today we'll discuss key strategies, tips, and tricks that are probably helpful for any student who is prepping for an interview. For our discussion today, I'll assume myself uh, as a student who doesn't have much experience. So I probably need some tips on how I can crack a PM interview. Sidhu, from your perspective, what do you think I should do to crack a PM job?
Yeah, Srinath. So it's very simple. So I'll give you a 4-step process, which will land you a product manager job in 4 months, right? So apply for every product management job you see on LinkedIn. Read all the books that are on product management. Memorize 5 frameworks you can use in your interviews, and then maybe watch 1,000 or 2,000 hours of YouTube video which has product management in it. There you will get your product management job then.
Did you say that I have to apply for thousands of jobs, read thousands of books to crack a PM interview?
Yeah, man, just kidding. I'd say this is landing a product management job is not easy, but there are certain things which you can do to make the process much smoother, and also do it the right way. You can definitely there are more chances that you can land a product management job. So before we get into all of those tactics, right, I would say the first step for anybody or any person who wants to start his job search, right, goes in and creates a LinkedIn profile. So I think so that's why we are going to talk about discoverability here. How can you enhance your discoverability so that a recruiter can find you? So I would say, imagine you are a normal person searching for a grocery store. You go into Google and search for a grocery store, and you get a list of 10, and then you look at the store, look at the pictures, and look at ratings and all of that stuff, and pick one and go do your shopping. Imagine LinkedIn similar to that, where you have a lot of recruiters, right? Most of the recruiters in the tech industry are on LinkedIn searching for people for the right roles. So if a person goes in and search for a person, right, I need a student who has certain background and so experience in certain things, and if your profile comes up without a photo, and with you adding no description to that, I think that's a clear no for that recruiter. So I would say increasing that discoverability will help you land better reach outs from the recruiters, and also make you more discoverable. And there are certain things which you can do to make yourself more discoverable. I think the first and foremost thing is have a decent profile picture, right? So I think everybody has a smartphone nowadays. Take a picture, and there are also editing tools where you can actually take out the background and make it a plain background, right, and add a photo. So that will make you
I
look
probably need to
professional,
change
right?
that. Yep,
Yeah,
no, go
so
ahead.
that will make you professional. And there's also a banner, right, where you can actually say, okay, that you're preparing for certain things, or maybe you can upload a photo where you are actually giving a presentation at a class, or at your university, and all of that stuff. That could be something which you could do. And there's also a description section in LinkedIn where you can actually put in the a summary of what you have done so far, and what you're interested in, and what motivates you, and all of that stuff. And there's skills that you can add, right? So when recruiters search, they search for specific skills, right? Each job posting has a set of skills it needs. So you adding that skills helps people, the algorithm sort you out than the other people who have done it. So add skills to that. And also I would say the best thing to do is to add all the jobs which you have done, write the impact which you have created. And also if you have people who can refer you, that will also is something that is like a social proof, right? People are like who are working with you, giving you proof that okay, you have done certain work, and that is also something that is commendable. So imagine you have all of this updated, and a recruiter comes in and searches on LinkedIn, and your name pops up. they'll have less than 10 to 15 seconds to skim through your profile. And if something stands out there, they'll pick you and maybe reach out to you saying, okay, we have a job opening, are you interested? So I think the first space would be to start with your LinkedIn profile, update everything, and keep update, adding things and showing your work on LinkedIn as add more and more skills to yourself. So that would be my take on it, but happy to hear your tips on how can we improve your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting. I mean, I think probably something I learned today is when you talked about the references, which probably I don't have much, I probably need to get more references so I can probably build more credibility as a student, and probably it will be helpful for me as well. I mean, Phani, do you want to share your perspective? On this?
Yeah, definitely, Srinath. So, couple of things, right? First of all, who are you? Like, who are you? Like, you're just an MBA student. You're sitting somewhere. There are like thousands of other students very similar to you, and then those same 1,000 students might be reaching out to the same recruiter and asking for the same role. So, who are you? So that's the biggest thing that you're solving for here. What you need to basically do is put you out there. You are someone who is outspoken. You are someone who wants to connect to people. You are someone who wants to learn. You basically want to like teach or tell all those things to the recruiter. And that's what you're trying to do through a LinkedIn profile, through a resume, through your own personal portfolio, which you establish somewhere, etc. And like Sidhu was mentioning, keep it different, keep it something more enthusiastic for a recruiter. That'll make you stand out from all the other students and make the recruiter reach out to you. And another thing I always keep in mind is, what does the other person want? So think of a recruiter's mindset, not from your standpoint. Think of a recruiter standpoint. What does a recruiter want? A recruiter wants an MBA student who's very enthusiastic to like learn about their company, learn about their initiatives, etc. So keep it out there. Hey, whatever you publish, that should basically shout out to say, hey, this is the candidate that I want to talk to. And if that very first point, which is like, I want to talk to you, if you can make that happen through a recruiter, that's awesome. Do anything that you want to make that very first initial conversation happen.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's
one thing
interesting to know. Go ahead, Sidhu.
sorry. Yeah. So one stat I want to add is so every job after my job at Bosch, every job I changed or moved to was through LinkedIn and was through people who reached out to me. So that's how effective it is. And also another thing is, even now there are at least one or two people reaching out to me every week. So that's how the people, when you have an optimized profile, people tend to find you more and reach out to and keep sending DMs to you. Just wanted to put that out.
I want to add one more thing there, right? So yeah, I've been talking to like several students in the last couple of years, helping them with MBA interviews, and one of the questions that always come to them is, do I need to take a premium account for LinkedIn? I know when you're a student, when you're not earning, every dollar matters, but the premium account, every dollar is worth another $100. Because the moment you take a premium account and put yourself to say, hey, I'm open to take interviews, that opens up yourself to a LinkedIn algorithm to recruiters.
I'm in the same boat. I think probably before until this conversation, I was thinking because it was like $45 per month, and I didn't knew the value that this would bring. I mean, but good to know from both of you that I can use a lot of these resources to reach out to people. I mean, make my profile more discoverable and all that stuff. No, but I think probably I'll go and subscribe myself to this for my search.
Yeah. So one other thing I want to add was, like, once I was actually looking at recruiter side of the LinkedIn profile. So it's almost like Amazon, right, where you actually search for something, you can filter by the skill the person has, you can filter by the area the person has, and also the years of experience and all of that stuff, right? So I think the more information you add, the more keywords you have, the more skills you have, the more you are actually on the top of the search than somewhere lagging at the bottom of the search. So make sure that is very important to add it and market yourself, like sell yourself.
I love that analogy, Sidhu. You're basically telling that you are a product and you're trying to sell yourself, and you need to make sure you are discoverable in Amazon.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, probably an action item for me is after this call to go subscribe to LinkedIn Premium and as well as explore various options and to see how I can reach out to the right people at the right time. Um, so, I mean, overall, looks like discoverability is probably one of the important ones that I need to focus to crack the interview. What are the other things that I mean that you guys think that I should focus on? Funny, do you want to add anything?
Yeah. Another very important thing is networking. So, Srinath, you have not done a professional career in the past, right? Like imagining that scenario. So I've seen this in students. Somehow, people are very reluctant to like reach out to people. The thing, if I say the only thing that will land you a job is probably networking, because as product managers, one of the very important things that we do is we talk to people, we network with people, we understand what they do, and then we are the people, we are the thinkers who solve problems. When you're someone who is like that, and when you need to land a job, you should show that outspoken mindset. You should show that, hey, I'm someone who can like solve a problem for you. So reach out to people, network, and ask them to refer you. Again, like as soon as you come to me, like if you just shoot me a LinkedIn message to say, hey Phani, refer me to Intuit, I'm like, dude, I don't know anything about you. Why would I refer you? So you need to actually understand the other person. You need to tell them that, hey, I'm the right person for a certain job. So talk to them, understand what they do, tell them what you do. Everyone would love to hear everyone else's stories. So tell your story, and then finally ask them to like refer to whichever company, and people would be happy to do that. And for many people, they might even be getting incentives from their own company. So why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah, no, this is probably a very big opportunity for me. For I'm a person, I mean, who can be shy at times, and I skipped some of the orientation, some of the conferences happening in my MBA college. I probably should attend more of that to build some network. Otherwise, I don't think. I mean, apart from friends, I don't think I'll be able to build that network. But good to know that. I mean, this is one of the important ones. And Sidhu, and what do you think?
Yeah, so this actually, you know, when I reflect back and see, right, I'm actually an introvert where who's reluctant to reach out to people and talk to people. I'm good with the people who I know. That's a different sit, right? So, and this person is a different person. So, the way I try to overcome that is to start posting things on LinkedIn. So, when you start posting things on LinkedIn, that actually acts as an icebreaker to start a conversation with people when people reach out. So that's how sometimes, when people reach out, I say, okay, this is a good article, and then I say, okay, this is where I researched about this, and this is my experience. They add stuff and all. That's where you build the conversation. So I'd say that's not the only way to do it, but that could also be a way where you're sharing what your journey is, what you're trying to do, and all, and people interact with you, and you actually network and build your network around it. So a couple of things I want to add from what Phani was saying, right? So networking is not easy. So if you reach out to 100 people, maybe you'll get 10 responses, out of which will 2 or 3 or 4 people will set up calls with you. So do it frequently, do it regularly. And also the biggest thing which worked for me is to be genuinely interested in the person which you are talking about. Don't make it transactional, right? So like, don't send a message saying that, okay, your company has a job, and can you refer me? So I think that's the very cold way of doing it. I would say be genuinely interested in the company, right? So I want to learn about what your company is doing in product, right? How does your company do product? What are the latest products you have done? So how have you moved from an engineer to a product manager? Learn about the person, learn about the company, try to put those things in, and have that conversation, so that people are also invested in you. They know you, and then they can actually say that, okay, this person is actually has put in the effort to do it, and also has done the research to do it, so I can actually maybe refer him to a job which he's wanting, and all of that stuff. And one other tip I would give is, make sure when you send your first message out, make it on point. Don't add like lines and lines of things, like what is the reason you're reaching out for the person, and why do you want to talk, and all of that. Be genuinely interested and keep talking to the people. And you'll find people who are willing to help. Ask for help, right? There are definitely people out there who are willing to help and who want to do that. And also remember that the third tip which I would say is follow up, right? Even when I get DMs, right, sometimes I might be in a different thing, or I might be traveling, and I might have I've seen that linked and thought of responding to it, but I forget after I go back to work, right? So keep following up 4, 5, 6, 7 times, be persistent. And the third time I'll feel bad, so that I can reply back to you saying that, okay, I'll put that person in that position where you keep following up. So I think these are some tips which help me network and reach out to more people. And as I said before, all the like 3 or 4 job offers which I have received after my work at Bosch were all people reaching out to me, seeing my work, or having these conversations, and through the network.
Actually, I want to add
I'll
something.
keep that in mind.
I want to add
No, go
something.
ahead, Phani.
I want to quote Steve Jobs. I'm not quoting exactly, but what did he do to get his very first computer to be sold? He himself went to certain places to sell it. And then, like, how did he get investments from people? He literally cold call people. And that's what you need to do as well. So, as an interviewee and who wants to sell yourself and who wants to get a job, literally cold call. When I say cold call, the old way of doing it is actually picking up a phone and calling someone. But the right way to do it right now is messaging messaging cold emails or cold messages. I've recently seen even people like sending emails to my office email. I don't even know how they got my office email, but I'm like, dude, this person put an effort to like actually find my office email and sent an email to me reaching out. I responded to those people and said, dude, this is awesome. Like, let's talk more. And then the same way, right? Always keep the third person's point of view. Like Sidhu was telling, um, think of the other person. He's also busy, but he or she always has the time for the right things. If they think that you're the right person that they need to spend time on, they will do it. And be persistent. Like I feel bad several times when people message me and I don't respond probably in like a week or so. Then I have that guilty conscience to say, dude, I was in that shoes sometime back, so I should totally help them and then respond to them.
Yeah. So I also want to add an example here, right? Like a previous experience which I had. So before that, I'll say that I think networking is not a 2 month, 3 month, 6 month thing. It is a long process, right? You have to invest in your network, and the more you invest and the more you do it over the years, you'll actually get the benefits of the compounding effects of the network later in the year. So I'd say keep doing it, keep at it. So an example, right? So there was a person who reached out to me on LinkedIn regarding product manager jobs. So we had a conversation, and I shared my tips, how I went, landed a job, and all of that stuff. Then cut the person, I met that person maybe 1.5 year after that, where he landed a job, and he's also training a lot other PMs who wanted to land a job in product management. So this guy starts a podcast, and he actually talks to a lot of people, and he mentions my name, saying that, okay, I initially we talked and all of that stuff. And there was a person from Pune University, from the IEEE chapter, who reached out to me so that I can talk to them about product management. And we already recorded a podcast which is going to go live in two weeks. And this all happened 1.5 year back, like in 2020 or so. So look at the network effects. This is just to tell you, investing in your network is very important. So keep doing it, right? Reach out to new people, talk to new people. You'll learn from them, and also try to help them, right? Whenever they reach out or tap to you, make sure you give what they want or connect them with the right people.
Yeah, I'm probably currently, bad at it. I probably need to do more and master this networking skill. And I probably, we probably as students hear a lot on career fairs in our college. They keep conducting. What are the tips that probably you guys can share to me that I can leverage during my, like when I attend career fairs? As you guys know, there'll be thousands of students in career fairs, and getting that traction, getting that visibility is probably tough. What tips that you would like to give me so I can make sure that's a successful conversation?
You want to cover?
Like you said, Srinath, right? Career fairs are one of the most important things that a student can use, because just at one place you will have probably like hundreds of companies who are sitting there who's probably ready to give you a job. One thing you do is like do some prep work. Like what are the companies you're genuinely interested in? Because if there are 100 companies, going to 100 companies is waste of your time, their time, which is not going to land you in anything. So do a lot of background work to say, hey, out of these 100 companies, these 10 are my top companies. These have jobs that are very relevant to me. These have jobs that are very relevant to my profile. And the second thing you do is take a second list, which is these companies might have something for me. So I definitely have to go do some network and then get the contacts, and ignore all the other companies that you don't need. Like don't spend time on them either during the career fair or during the prep work. The second one is have the contacts. So before the career fair, actually reach out to people from those, at least those top 10 companies, and literally cold message tens of people and then tell that, hey, I'm very interested. The reason it's going to be helpful is not that that specific person might be coming to the career fair. When you actually go to the career fair and actually talk to that person, tell that, hey, I already reached out to people from your company and I already spoke to so and so person who's working in this department. That's a very interesting, that tells a recruiter that, dude, this person is very interested in my company. The moment they have that thought process, they'll be very keen to talk to you, very keen to understand your profile. That's basically like even for YouTube, right? It's a hook to for someone to like start the video. But after that, you need to show your profile, you need to show your skill set to actually land a job. But that pre-networking or the preparation that you do for career fair would eventually get you a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
I'll
So
keep that in mind. Yep.
yeah, funny. So I think you stressed on a very important point, right? So I learned it the hard way, where initially, the initial career fairs which I went, I used to go to each and every booth, talk to everybody. I think that's not the right strategy, right? So I want to double click on what you're saying, what you said before. Have a strategy, and what you want to achieve on, right? Like keep that in mind, right? Do you want to get into a product manager role or some other role, and what areas are you better at, or do you have previous relevant experience at, and all of that stuff. And make sure you, because every career fair has a list of participants already on the website, and you can go research and do your thing and short it down and make it a short list. So once you do that, it's easier for you, and it's easier, better time spent for you and also for them, right? Get the contacts and reach, and also reach out to each and every person sincerely, right? It's not like a same message broadcasting it out. Say that, okay, thank you, it was nice meeting at your the career fair. Also put in that, okay, I've researched your company and this is what I like from your company, and this is the value which I can add. Send a personalized message to everybody. It doesn't take much time, but I think that'll actually make you stand out from all the others, all the maybe 100 or 50 people who reach out from the same career fair.
Actually, I
Yeah,
want
no,
to
I
talk
think
product management terminology here, right? What is the customer journey here? So the customer is a student. The journey has 3 steps. One is the prep work, the other one is actual conference, and the other one is the post conference. 3-step user journey. So in each point of the customer journey, think of all the things that you need to do in order to get the recruiter be interested in you. Again, always think of the third person's point of view. What is the recruiter trying to do? Even they don't have time, they have only 8 hours in the day, and they also probably have targets to say, hey, we need to probably find 100 students who are good for our company. They also want to achieve that. So think of what they want to do and present exactly what they are trying to finish, and or understand what they are trying to do, because they might be looking for candidates who have specialized skill in marketing, or they might be looking for students who have specialized skill in strategy. Try to gather what they're trying to look for and then present yourself as someone who can solve that.
no, these are very useful tips. I mean, prior to, I mean, I think a few career fairs which happened in 2023, late 2023. I mean, I was so desperate that I was just going to every booth, just trying to talk to them to find a job. That's probably not the best way. I think what I learned from you guys today is how I can build a list of companies. I mean, where I want to target to, kind of then target them and follow up and make sure you kind of create that visibility. So I'll make sure I use these skills because we have an upcoming career fair happening in March where more than 100 plus companies are coming, and I'll make sure I do this due diligence before I attend that career fair. But thanks for these are very useful. Um, I think that's good to know, which is basically networking. I mean, are there any other tips that you would like to give me in terms of planning a PM job?
Yeah, so I can maybe one other thing, right? So I think there's a, whenever people trying for a PM job without experience, right? The problem is most companies look for PMs who are experienced, and students don't have experience in that field. So there's this chicken and egg problem. Yeah, there are. I don't say that there are no ways where people can go through internships or go through maybe APM roles and rotational programs and all of that stuff, but those are very limited and only are open in certain small number of companies. So the best way to get product manager experience is to do a side project. So the reason why I say is, right, once you do a side project, you actually kind of go through that route of creating a product, right? Thinking through and saying, okay, what the problem is, then going and doing the solutioning or ideation. Once you do the solutioning, then you put it out to the users and say, okay, get feedback and improve that product. So you could actually do it through side projects. And side project
Sorry to interrupt. Can you elaborate a bit what you mean by side project? So I'm not aware.
yeah, that's right. So side projects might not be actual product, or something you actually do coding and all of that stuff. So their side product would be as simple as creating an ebook, a newsletter, a podcast, or at least creating a simple app. So there are so many no code apps. You can actually maybe research, go out, talk to people, and if people want an app, you can create an app within hours, right? It's very easy. And also you could build a website, also maybe building a Excel sheet for uh, checking out what the profits you have got in your crypto, right? So that could also be a product which can be used by multiple people. So I'd say in nowadays the technology is so advanced that you can actually create a product over a weekend, right? Create it, push it out, show it to your family and friends, and get more feedback, see if it's useful or not, iterate, make it better. That's what a product manager does on a day-to-day basis. So once you do that, maybe you can add that to your profile and say that, okay, I might not have a product manager experience, but I have gone through that 0 to 1 process of creating a product from idea to product launch. So that's a good way of learning product management skills without any experience. So Phani, maybe do you also want to add something or different ways to get more experience?
Yep. Actually, let me tell this, right? Third party point of view. Like, what is a recruiter or an interviewer trying to understand? The interviewer is trying to understand that this person is someone who's very proactive. And if he wants to do something, he's going to get it done. That's what they are trying to understand. A side project is the best way to explain that. Even in my past, what I did was, it was the early stages of Google Assistant. Google just released it and said, hey, students or anyone who is trying to interested in creating, I don't think they're calling it skills right now, but when you converse with the Google Assistant, right, you can actually build that. So they said, if you're interested, like, build it. I actually built one. And if you're an engineer who has past coding experience, do that. You might have fun while coding it. It might fail if you're not an expert or anything like that, but that shows your proactiveness in getting stuff done. And one more thing that will help you is, when you passionately do something like that as a side project, you will be super interested to talk that in an interview, and that conversation can take you way ahead than anyone else. Like, showing that, hey, I actually built something with my own hands is an awesome skill to have for a product manager.
Yeah. So one other thing which I want to add, Funny, I think showing your work, right? You the point that is a very important point, because in also in the interviews which I sit and talk to other product managers, right? Interviewing other product managers, resume tells people just so much, right? It's not a reflection of everything what people have done. So when people show the work or talk about the results they have, or the impact they have created, I think that's what helps makes it easy for a hiring manager to hire a product manager. I'd say so. I think that's a very important point which you brought up. And also one interesting fact, I don't know, I don't remember the numbers and all, but there was a student who actually created an Alexa skill, and he was charging $2.99 per month, and he has like 100K subscribers to that. So you can eventually maybe earn money to write for your LinkedIn subscription. Srinath, maybe.
No, I think that's good to know. I mean, especially on the side projects. I mean, currently as an MBA student, as you guys may have been through this, I mean, the course is so rigorous. I mean, we don't get much time to focus on like consulting projects and all that stuff. I mean, probably we should spend more time on the side projects to gain some real time experience. So, I mean, probably that helps it easy. And another question which I also have in this space is I often hear from my seniors and some of my friends talking about the importance of an internship. How can I be successful in landing an internship? Because I heard that that's probably an easier way to land a full-time product management job.
That's true. I guess that that's true. Like getting an internship is a very easiest way to like actually get a full-time job. And my tip on how to get an internship is start early. Like somehow every company tries to hire interns for next year by probably like September to December of this year. Even though the internship is starting in like May of next year, a lot of companies do that hiring like way ahead. So apply super early, network super early, and then like start talking to people and tell that, hey, I want to land an internship job and this is my experience. Since people will have very limited expectations from an intern, right? There's a very good chance you are going to end up in an internship very early, even though your skill set might be comparatively lower than many other people, because a lot of people don't start early.
Yeah. So one other thing I
Yep.
would add is, right. So imagine, I was a hiring manager, right? So if I was given an option of two candidates, one candidate was a person which I hired as an intern who came in, showed his work, is a cultural fit, he fits well with the team and all of that stuff. Or another candidate is a person which I have to interview and figure out all of them through an interview, not through physical presence. I would prefer a person who has already worked for me. So I think internships are so powerful. So and chances of landing that full-time job is also much higher while doing an internship.
Yeah, no, I'll keep that in mind. I mean, I started applying for a few jobs. Probably I could do a better job there. I know in this macro environment, it's been really challenging for me to as well find a right job. No, I think I learned a lot today. I mean, looks like three big takeaways from me from this call is how can I make sure I make my profile more discoverable? How can I make sure I develop relationship with people so I can get a job? Third is how can I probably gain experience by doing any consulting projects or side projects or internships. Probably I'll keep that in mind as I search for my opportunities in the next 3 months as I'll be graduating later in this year. If you would, I mean, I think those are probably some of the questions which I had. I mean, if you could say one thing or one tip that you would like to give an aspiring MBA student like me who want to crack a job in next 4 months, what would that be?
I actually have a couple. The way I would put it is the very first one,
I will take
always
more.
always think of the third person point of view. I know I stressed it multiple times in this video. When you're trying to do something, you always think about you. You say, okay, I'm stressed out in doing something, but rather think of the third person, like what is the recruiter trying to achieve, or what is the hiring manager trying to achieve. If you can crack that, you can land that job very easily because your conversation would be much more simpler. And the second one, in my opinion, is networking. Like if you don't do it, you're not gonna get a job very easily. But if you actually build that skill of networking, not just the first time, like Sidhu was mentioning earlier, there is a ripple effect on how it can help you in the later times. It could be landing another job, it could be landing promotions, it could help you in like 10 different ways. So do networking.
Yeah. So my side, I would start with it's definitely not easy. It's hard. So you have to go through that part to get to it. But the two biggest things are, the first one is networking. So try to I've seen more people finding jobs through networking rather than them applying, through a job portal, which goes through an automatic filtering system where your resume is
I'm in the
not
same boat currently.
Yep, it doesn't even go to the recruiter, right? He doesn't have even, your resume doesn't even stand a chance for that. So I'd say networking is the biggest thing. So try to do your networking. And the second tip which I would say is, right, for any interview you go in, right, you think that I think a lot of people are afraid and also think that the interviewer is questioning them and all of that stuff. When you flip that to thinking that the interviewer is also trying to help you to get to that job, that changes the whole perspective, and you will have a more positive attitude over all the questions or all the scrutiny the interviewer does to you. So because I think he's also trying to make you successful and also find a job, find a candidate for a role in his team, right? So make sure you do that mindset switch, which will make the conversation much easier.
Yeah, I think these are all very helpful tips. I think you guys probably gave me at the right time as I'm preparing for my interviews in the next few months. I hope I'll be able to master these skills and be able to land a job.
So Srinath,
Um,
yeah, I would say maybe remove your hat and give us tips, right? I know you are way more experienced in taking interviews and landing jobs. So give us 2 tips from your side.
From my side, I mean, I think I'll echo what you guys said. I mean, that is networking. I mean, maintaining relationships, both, I mean, not only just an office, I mean, even making friendships through networking, LinkedIn networking, and do like a coffee meetups just to get to know, I mean, in person as well, because it's not that you'll probably be in the same company. You can be, I mean, you probably need a job in another company probably where you are interested in. So networking, I'll say, probably is one of the most important ones. The second one I'll say is, I think we already covered today, which is I mean, discoverability, which is building a quality profile and applying to targeted jobs. I mean, don't apply to thousands of jobs, because don't focus on quantity but focus on quality of the jobs that you're applying that will fit your profile and where your interests are. There are various types of PM jobs out there. For instance, there are non-tech PM, platform PM, tech PM, the different types of PM jobs. So you need to really know where you want to land and accordingly build a profile which meets that. Otherwise, if you have a general profile and if you're applying for let's say, I mean, a tech product manager, but you don't have any technical skills, it's going to be hard no matter what you apply, how many number of jobs you apply. So I'll say these two. I mean, one is networking and building a quality profile and make sure you're targeting the right ones is pretty important. I think, yeah, we covered a lot today, learned a lot. I mean, I hope a lot of these tips will help MBA students who are looking to craft the PM interview. I mean, I hope all these tips will be helpful and land the job that you guys like. Thanks a lot for everyone. So please don't forget to subscribe our channel, which is Everything Product.
Yeah, thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Please subscribe and also hit the like button and share it with anybody who you think would benefit from in the job search.
Thank you.
Yes.